Hi, and welcome to my channel. Just a little heads up, after today's video, most of my videos moving forward will be about the December daily for the month of December. Today I have a layout using the Felicity Jane Rebecca kit about my daughter doing her first chin stand. A chin stand is when you're on your belly and your feet flip over and touch your head. It's kind of crazy. My daughter started private lessons in dance, and she's learning a dance routine for a competition that's going to be happening in February. And this is only her second dance lesson when she's learning how to do these chin stands. So I'm taking this black and white diagonal paper and I cut the middle out so I could use it for layering. I don't want to waste that good cardstock. I took a 12 by 12 white cardstock and I cut half an inch off of both sides, two sides, so it makes it 11.5 by 11.5, and I'm going to put that over and have the black and white diagonal stripe be a border to my layout. I go ahead and use that, lay that out, and then I'm using the dies that came with the Rebecca kit, and I've been dying to use these, but haven't really figured out what layout to use it for, so I'm going to use it on this one. I cut the picture of my daughter doing the chin stand, and then I find other scraps of paper and I dye those into the tags as well. I'm making sure that the orientation of the paper is the way I want it to be, with the holes of the dye on top, because I'm going to make this kind of into a grid layout. Now you'll see that I'm doing this with different scraps of paper. I've cut paper down so that I can make them into these dies. I'm going to have 6 total. 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. And excuse me, I'm getting my background of my layout, and I'm going to try to decide which order I want these tags to go into. I didn't really know how I wanted to do this layout using the dies, because typically I use dies for all of my gifts, so that's the reason I purchased this die set, is because I love making my own tags for gifts. So this is going to be a new one for me. I'm doing this as a grid, and I'm trying to treat it like I would just a regular grid layout. Now, one thing I do wish I had done now looking back is that the picture of my daughter doing the chin stand, I wish I had backed it with another piece of cardstock or something to make it stand out. I did put that on foam stamps, but I don't think it gives enough attention to that picture. I'm going through the different die cuts that came with this kit. You'll see some of the frames I've already cut. I go through the heart vellums. I know I want to use the gal Rebecca on one of the tags. I'm putting the different frames on the sides, but you'll see I have the 2 frames on the 2 bottom dies, and that's too close together, so I'm trying to decide where I should put the other frame. And I'm cutting them down so that the frame hangs off the edge of the dies. And I'm using the vellum hearts, trying to decide where I should put that happy sign. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I am going to stitch on some of these dies. I also put the date stamp using a Stays On ink onto that bottom tab that you see there. I'm using upholstery thread to tie bows around these little rubber tags. I went out and bought that the upholstery thread after I did my other layouts, so that's why I didn't have that thread for these tags, and I like the way these turned out. I'm threading each of those rubber tags and tying a little bow around them. You can't really see it here on the layout, but you'll be able to see it in the final picture. I also took my sewing machine. It's the We Are Memory Keepers Happy Stitch, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I hate that thing. I'm getting rid of it, and I'm going to buy a real sewing machine for Black Friday, which, by the way, I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving and Black Friday shopping. I did staple the vellum heart onto the leopard heart onto the yellow tag, and I'm gluing the frames down. I want to make sure that they're all not right next to each other, so you'll see I have it on the top left and the bottom right. I'm also putting foam stickers behind the Rebecca gal, the one with the sunglasses and the buffalo plaid, which is just awesome. I'm cutting the Stampin' Up! Foam tab so that I can make use of the edges, which is all like one long piece. And I'm putting the foam stamps just on one side of the Rebecca gal so that she is popped off of the black and white diagonal tag, or the wonky tab. So you see here, I'm trying to decide where to put some of those rubber tags. I don't want it to be too close together. I wanted to make a triangle as well. I finally stamp the date using the StazOn ink. And now I'm going to glue down all of the little asterisk, color asterisks down, and I'm doing them in clusters of 3. I put that one under Rebecca just so it gives a little visual interest. I'm putting down the chipboard heart, or the vellum heart, and I put the glue where you can't really see the glue because I don't want it to show up on the vellum. After I've put some of those down, I'm trying to decide which letters I'm going to use for my title, and I decide I'm going to title it Chin Stand. First I go with the pink puffy stickers, but I realize pink on pink, it's not enough of a contrast, so I use the yellow puffy stickers from Felicity Jane. I spell out the word Chin Stand and I put that onto my middle pink label, and I go from the middle out just to make sure that the title is centered. Once I do that, I decide to use crochet, I want to say thread, but I don't think it's thread, yarn, crochet yarn, and I thread that through all of the dies, the tags I should say. But then once I do that, I realize I want to put them through the plastic dies as well. So I take them out and go ahead and redo that. I have to cut the tip just to make sure that they fit through some of the dies. Once I go through and put them through all 6 of the die cuts, tags I should say, I go ahead and decide to adhere the tags down onto the layout. Now, being the type A person that I am, I kind of have to do that by the grid. Here I am adhering the plastic tags down to the bigger tags, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the die cut tags down onto my layout. And for that I'm going to use just my ATG gun. You'll see here I have them even though I could have done it in a wonky line. I'm using the ruler from my cutting mat to make sure that they're all even. I know, which is so weird. I don't necessarily need to do that because I have all this thread going everywhere, thread from the rubber tags, thread from the crochet thread or yarn. Next, I'm putting the Stampin' Up! Adhesive so that the picture of my daughter doing the chin stand is raised. Again, I wish I had backed that up so that it gives more visual interest and that it's more raised. Okay, now I'm doing my usual ink splatters using the Heidi Swapp black ink. Then I'm going to go ahead and use the Nuvo drops in gold, and I'm going to put 3 sets of 3 dots into the 3 points of interest where I have the black splattered inked as well. And then I'm going to tap that to flatten it a little bit. I move the thread to make sure that it doesn't get stuck into the Nuvo drops. And there you have it. That is my layout. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. Bye.